What's up, everybody? Welcome to the K-Pop Kimchi Podcast, your number one podcast for girl groups with the number one fanboys. I'm your host, Justin Torno, with my co-host, Brian Limper. And we are halfway through Queendom.
We are. It's kind of
Maybe.
weird, actually.
It's kind of scary, kind of sad.
It goes by so fast.
It goes by really fast.
'Cause this was episode 5.
This was episode 5.
I think it was 10, right?
So we are exactly halfway through the show. It's crazy. It really seems like it just started.
It's crazy when I think about how long ago Girls Planet was.
I just will never be over how great that show was.
That's what I think about whenever, like, I hear, like, OOO come over on, like, my shuffle on my phone. Like, when I listen to Spotify. It's like those movies when people have, like, flashbacks of, like, all the happy times, like, in Step Brothers, when Derek thinks about when he's hanging out with his brother.
They're, like, flying a kite.
And he's, like, laughing, like, staring into the sky. That's me when I hear OOO. I just, like, look up and I stare at the sky. Just have flashbacks of Girls Planet.
Girls Planet was so fun, too, because there was I feel like there was, like, so much pre-stuff for it. It, like, really built the hype. Like, they had all the trainees, like, the videos and, like, the introductions. And it was just, like, this big build-up to the final, like, show and all that stuff. I don't know. I could watch shows like that all the time. It was so... I just remember, like, every week being, like, so invested.
And it's crazy because Kepler's, like, here now, so we, like, see him.
Yeah, we're, like, literally
living...
We live with them, you know, every day. It was, like, this is the product of what we watched every single day, which is cool. It's cool to, like, finally...
Can't wait for them to come out and see that it was rigged.
Eventually. I mean, they did it every other time, so... I just want... I mean, let's just do Idol School 2.
Dude, Idol School is awesome.
I just love those... I love shows like that.
For anyone who hasn't watched Idol School, go watch Idol School.
Oh, gosh. Idol School 2. Bring back Heechul.
Talk about a show that was a long time ago. My gosh. Idol
yeah,
School
it's like ancient. Everyone's still going strong.
But, yep, halfway done with the series. I wonder if they have a Kingdom. They should. I'd imagine they would.
Yeah, I mean, we're on Queendom 2, so, I mean, they'll have Kingdom 2.
Hopefully.
I mean, we should probably watch that because Kingdom 1 was sick.
Dude, Kingdom was sick when they had, like, ATs and they had, like, freaking,
They had really good groups on there.
Who else did they have?
B2B.
Stray Kids, B2B, we're going to see twice.
Who we're going to see in 2 times in 2 days. What a treat.
We call that the Kessel Run.
But we kind of, like, watched stages from that. We didn't, like, watch it, you know, like we are now with Queendom, but we watched a bunch of stages from it, and it was awesome.
There's still a lot of game to be played here, but I am kind of disappointed that I feel like the stages in Kingdom were way crazier than the ones that we've seen on.
So far, yeah. They had, like, a lot of props.
Like, they had, like, separate stages put together with, like, walkways and, like, Lisa on a throne and made of gold.
Yeah, that was... The presentation of it was really nice.
One of them ATs was on, like, a freaking pirate ship.
Wasn't
they
there, like...
shot a giant octopus
there was, like,
tentacle.
an actual giant octopus tentacle coming out of the wall.
And he shot it with, like, a musket.
Yeah. So, it's pretty hard to beat that. So, we'll see what
I'm sure the stages here will get crazy, too. I mean, the first one was pretty cool. The second one... Definitely a downgrade.
Yeah, we just need to stay back. The first one was awesome. Like, that stage with the moving parts and the levels, that was great.
But hopefully we'll get something.
The second one's really good, but yeah, I'm kind of expecting some more stages like Kingdom had with just, like, a ton of different stuff. But
I don't know, I'm excited for more performances.
Yeah, this episode was definitely, like, a change of pace, kind of.
Because I think for the first time... kind of since we've been watching the show, there wasn't like any performances at all in the kind of not really
kind of, but no, you're right. It wasn't like performances with like a lot of pressure. Really, it wasn't like there wasn't like a ton of stakes with these
exactly.
like kind of performances that they have.
So this episode was more like, I guess for anyone who hasn't watched the previous Queendom stuff, they like. After they do a couple of their stages, like the cover stage and all that stuff last week, they're doing unit stages, which means members of each group go into a vocal unit, and the members go into a dance unit. And they're given songs to perform, and they have to, like, I guess, go against each other, and then you vote for, like, whoever did the best in their little, like, units that they were doing. I'm not really sure how the voting's going to work on this.
I'm not either. Because
it's kind of different than last time. Because last time, remember, they had like one member from each group.
Yeah.
And then they did like a dance together and you had to vote for who did the best.
This was not like that. It was like uneven numbers.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out. But they basically just introduced that at the beginning of this episode. And then they started with each group going to like the little meetings of who they wanted to, like, I guess, nominate as tribute for whatever it is they were doing.
Yeah.
And then once they ended up doing that, they went to this like crazy beach house vacation sandals resort looking place.
It was like really cool. It was like, it was like in the side of the hills or something.
It was really
this
nice.
very fancy, just kind of vacation getaway spot with like a pool and really nice buildings to stay in.
Yep.
I don't know.
It
was dope
nice.
though. It was kind of cool to have like a change of like scenery too.
But when they got there, they had each, I guess, group at Highland show up one at a time. And then they had to, of course, go pick whichever side they want to do. If you want to do dance, the dance people went to one side. You want to do vocals, vocal people on the other side.
Yeah.
And of course, it was like a big mystery. Like, oh, who else is going to be with us? Or like, who else is going to be here? We don't know,
Yep.
Now, the only one who's able to do both of them was Highland because she was the soloist.
Yeah, so she had to do both.
Well, I was gonna say I don't remember if she had to do both or she could do both. Because I feel like at one time at the beginning they said that she had to do both because she's a soloist, and then I feel like at another time it's like, oh, she chose to do both of them because
maybe
she could.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
But that also might have just been like a translation thing.
I feel like she definitely would choose to do both if she had like a choice. So
and she did. So spoiler alert.
She's doing vocals and dancing.
So she was the first one to show up, and she went and it started off showing the people doing like the dance stuff. So she went to do the dance stuff. Then after that, Vive showed up, and maybe it's just because they have a smaller group. Because not every member of every group went and did this. It was like maybe half or less of whoever was there.
Yeah.
Because Vive showed up, and then Umji and Sinbi went to do the dance part, and Yunho went to do the vocal part.
Yeah.
Then after that, Kepler showed up, and Hikaru, Shouting, and Diane went to go do the dance portion, while Cheon and Youngin went to go do the vocal portion.
Yes.
After that, I think it was Brave Girls that showed up after that.
Yeah.
And Yoonji went to go do the dance portion, and Min Young went to go do the vocal portion.
Right.
Then you had WJSN, and it was Yorm and Unseo who did the dance part, and Yeonjung and Subin who did the vocal part. And then you had Luna come in, and of course there's like freaking a billion of them. They actually had 4 and 4. They had a lot of people show up, but I guess you had 12 members in your group.
So many people show up to do it.
And Luna had Olivia, Eve, Heejin, and Chori in the dance area, and then Chu, Hassel, Kim Lip, and Jinsol in the vocal area. So when we were watching this, the only thing I was really surprised about, which I said multiple times, was that Chori was there, picked to do. I mean, she can dance or whatever, but I thought it was an interesting choice. I thought maybe like Jinsol or Kim Lip would be over there in the dance area, but they were both over in the vocal area, which is kind of surprising to me.
I just wasn't sure, and I don't know if they really explained the like distribution. I mean, I guess just because they had more, they had to have more people show up because like they have more people in Luna.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't really say
because there was 8 people from Luna that, and like obviously other groups can't do that. They don't have as many, but they kind of just seemed like they're like, who wants to do it? And they're like, you, okay. I just wasn't exactly sure how that dynamic of like who got chosen, because Kepler had 5. They didn't even pick like an even number.
Yeah, they didn't.
It was so I don't know how that was.
WJSN had 4, but they also only have 7 people there right now.
Yeah, so that like makes sense, and it was like 2 and 2, but I don't know. I just wasn't really sure about that. It doesn't really matter, but it was just kind of interesting that they just kind of picked whoever wanted to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. If they did know, I guess they did tell us because I don't remember.
I don't remember them really explaining it. It really just seemed like it was a group decision thing.
So after that, they got like shown what the little dance things are going to be that they were going to be doing on like the video screen. Like,
yeah, there's like 3 different ones,
3 choices, essentially. And after the 3 choices, they had to go out, and the lowest ranked group basically got to pick which song they wanted to do first or perform.
Yeah.
Then it would go the next group, the next group, the next group.
Yeah.
And of course, like most survival shows or voting shows, the higher up seeds could knock off the lower seeds if they wanted to do the same performance. Because only two. It's weird because they said two teams, but it wasn't really like teams because it was just their groups.
It was like two of the groups.
So two groups could only perform one song. So
yeah,
we saw that happen in a couple of these, we'll talk about in a second. But that's how basically the ranking kind of assignment worked. Now the songs are Kaboom, I'm Greedy, and Purr. And they all like different types of, I guess, styles and stuff like that to appeal to whoever wanted to do them. But the first group that went out to pick was Luna because they had the lowest amount of points altogether from both weeks because they weren't there for 1 week, so they got 0 points in one of them.
Yep. So technically they are last.
Yeah. So Luna went and picked Purr, which is like the one everybody wanted to do because there was an ample amount of twerking in it.
It was like a very sexy grown song.
Yeah, in the dance performance video they showed, so everyone's like all about it.
Yeah.
And that was Olivia, Eve, Heejin, and Chori. So they're the lowest one, right? So they go to do Purr.
They had their first
which is whatever.
Pick. Yeah.
Then Yoonji comes out for Brave Girls, and she's just all kinds of confused and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. She really had no idea. I thought she was going to go home.
I'm honestly not even sure if she even picked the song she wanted to do. She's kind of like wandered off.
I think she just like didn't really know what was going on, so she was like, "I'll just take this."
Pretty much. And she went with I'm Greedy.
And then that seemed like kind of a mature song too, right?
I think they all were kind of. I
thought maybe the
Purr was definitely the
most. I think
scandalous
the other one,
of all the songs.
I think that one was kind of, and then what was the other one? Kaboom.
Yeah,
I think that one's a little bit more upbeat. But yeah, they all sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, they were going to be really nice.
I'm excited for these.
And then third was Kepler, and Hikaru, Shouting, and Diane all wanted to do Purr. Because they were to be teamed up with Luna.
They really wanted to be with Luna, and Luna really wanted them to be with them.
I think it was the other way around, to be honest with you. I think Luna really wanted to be with Kepler.
Yeah, because they were like luring them in.
Yeah, they were like trying to like get them to come hang out with them.
We really think they would fit with us in this song. And I'm like, okay.
And then they went over there. Then the next group was Vives. And then, of course, Sinbi, being the boss that she is, came out and was like, sorry, you're out.
They wanted to do Purr.
And they kicked Luna out. So Luna left, right?
Yeah, since they're
the lowest. And Luna went to do the Kaboom stage, right? So they're over there at Kaboom because they had to pick a new one because they got kicked out.
Yeah, no one was at that one yet.
Then WJSN came out. And WJSN, everyone thought they were going to do Purr so they could be with like Sinbi. You know, they could be like friends. Uncio and Sinbi could hang out together.
Yeah.
But they ended up picking Kaboom because they wanted to be with Luna. Apparently, Luna's just like a hot commodity. Everyone loves them.
Everyone does.
And they ended up going over there, so everyone's like super excited and hanging out. It's like, yeah, this is the best. And then Highland comes out, and she kicks Luna out of Kaboom.
Yeah.
So that group ends up being Highland, Yoram, and Uncio. So that leaves Luna to go with Yoonji over in the I'm Greedy stage.
Yeah.
So you have Kaboom as Yoram, Uncio, and Highland. I'm Greedy is Yoonji, Olivia Hay, Eve, Heejin, and Chori. And the Purr stage is Hikaru, Shouting, Dayan, Unji, and Sinbi. I'll be honest with you. The Purr stage got the members that I would love to see do this dance. But as far as fitting the theme of the dance, I definitely feel like there's probably other groups that would have done a better job of that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see these pairings.
If I were to pick,
I think they're like pretty interesting because I feel like they're pretty different.
If I had to pick like two groups pairings that I think would have fit the concept of Purr the best, it would have been like the Luna with like Highland. I feel like that would have been a really good.
Yeah. Yeah, probably
match for that
probably
dance style.
The best. I mean, definitely like Highland fits that, and probably Luna and Highland. I think what is it? I think Vives fits it pretty solidly. I think with the people they have there.
I guess I've never, like I said, we only saw the little clip video of what the dance instruction was, but I've never really seen like anybody in Vives doing dances like that in anything, even in G-Friend. So
Yeah.
let's just say it wasn't technical creative like footwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more like hip hop dancing,
Yeah.
and I've never really seen them do that.
Yeah.
I think one group that would have been really cool to do the Kaboom stage would have been like WJSN and Kepler.
I was actually excited to see like all those groups with Luna, but then they just kept getting kicked out.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Then with Kepler, oh nope. I was like, oh, them and WJSN, Kaboom, this is gonna be awesome. Nope. So,
But if we learned anything about watching any of the shows, once it comes to actually like do the stage, they'll be 100% fun.
yeah, everyone will be really good. So, but yeah, I like that there's just kind of really random pairings. I feel like so. I'm interested to see just how these teams kind of mesh and go about it.
What's really weird though is like, so we were watching this like the dance one. Everyone's like super like cutthroat and they're like, oh, this is what we want. Like you get whatever is left over, like blah blah blah, all this stuff. And everyone seemed a little more, I guess, competitive than what it was when we went to the vocal side.
Yeah, the dancing was they're pretty brutal. I mean, not like really brutal, like actually, but they were. I mean, they definitely, the people who wanted something got what they wanted.
And they weren't like ashamed,
they
like
weren't
knocking other people off.
My bad. They're like, nope, we want this. We move.
Like, sorry, get out of here.
So,
Cutthroat kitchen.
And I mean, it was classic. Just with as the room filled up with people choosing their side, lots of awesome awkward laughs and.
It's funny, they're like so hyped to meet each other and introduce each other, then they just sit there in silence.
Sit there
it's
and
weird.
It's like awkward, and then there's like awkward music, and you're like, do you guys like you can say something? I don't know.
I'm assuming they'll like
maybe they're just like scared of Highland. I don't like
without the music. It's just like dead silence.
Oh my gosh! And then there's just like the million people in the cameras there
just like
too,
filming it.
So it just makes it even more awkward.
Like Kepler went in and they were sitting there like super rigid and like straight back, like proper, and Highland's like, you need to like chill out. Like it's not that serious.
She was like, you are stressing me out, so please relax.
I just sit back and relax. You're fine.
But yeah, that was like for both sides pretty much for a little bit. You just had some awesome, great awkward moments, but that was pretty much the dance.
That was the dance introduction.
The dance introductions.
Then on the vocal part, they kind of did the same thing. Where like the lowest ranked. Well, actually, they didn't. To be honest with you, now I think about it,
this didn't really make sense.
They just like volunteered. Whoever wanted to go first got to go first, and they didn't even say like they weren't given it. Stuff to perform. They apparently got to pick whichever song they wanted to do.
Yeah, they got to pick their songs.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, the vocal one was way more lax than the dance one. There's like less rules.
Okay, so there's like 3 rooms. There's Team A, Team B, Team C. Luna went first. They picked Team A, which I guess doesn't really matter because there wasn't anything assigned to it.
It was just there was just like these 3 kind of like I guess rooms where people stay at this condo thing. And they like went in one of the rooms.
Yep,
and that was
pretty much.
They just like, went in one of the rooms.
Then Team B, the first person that went there was Yuna. And she was by herself.
Yeah, she went into like the middle room.
Then Team 3 was Kepler, and they went and they picked to go to room, like the Team A room, where Luna was, which was great because that's what Luna wanted.
Yep.
Luna just loves Kepler, apparently.
They wanted to work with them again. And then that was their, that was that they were in that group, and then we still had in the second one, and then still an open room 3.
And then that's when Minyoung from Brave Girls went and was in Team C, room C, whatever, by herself.
Yeah, she went to the third one.
No, it's funny because when everybody left, they're like, oh my god, I love you, like, oh, you're the best, see you later. And everybody in the dance one was just like, all right, who am I knocking out here? Who's coming in second?
Yeah, like, everyone was way more happy and kind in the singing one.
Yeah, it was weird. But this is when things got real weird because apparently when you go, you just pick wherever you want to go. It's like choose your own ending. You just... I don't know.
There wasn't really any like instruction of like, it was just like go pick a room.
Because normally in most shows, it's like, all right, you're going to go pick somewhere. Then once you pick it, that's where you're stuck at. Like that's because that's the one you picked, right?
Yeah.
But Highland like went around like to each room deciding where she wanted to go. So she went to the first Team A one, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're already together. And she's like, all right, see ya.
Yeah, she like went in and left.
Then she went to Team B, where Yuno was, And she was like super excited for her to be there. And she goes, "Oh, it's just you by yourself." She's like, "Yep." And she's like, "All right, later."
She started like singing Highland a song. She's like, "Is it just you?" Yeah. And then she's like, "Okay." And she left,
She's like, "Oh, maybe
she
I'll
shut
be
the door
back."
and left.
And then she went to Team C where Min Young was. And she's like, "This is it. This bed's just right."
Yep. She literally, third time was a charm. And that was what Min Young wanted. And she could not be more happy. She was almost on the verge of tears.
Highland like literally went to hunt her down to find her to be on her team.
She wanted to
That's
be
like
with
what
her.
she wanted.
And she was like bawling her eyes out because she wanted to be with Highland.
Also, through this whole process, each member of Brave Girls is just the most depressing person.
They are
in the
so
entire
sad.
world. Oh my
They're
god,
so sad. And like, I mean, I guess which we know they've been doing great, but the official rankings they haven't been doing great. So maybe that's why they're kind of down. But I just swear each of them just has something where they're just sad, and like, can I even do this? Some kind of like self doubt, and you're like feel bad for them.
Yeah, I don't know. They were really down on themselves. But Highland and Min Young were together. And then it's funny because the last group to go is WJSN. And they went to Team A. They saw they were the team already. Because here's the thing. They were looking for Highland because they wanted to be in her group, right?
Yeah.
They even have to like... They'd like buy presents for people or something like that to give to the people in their unit.
Yeah.
And they even bought like cat-related stuff to give to Highland because that's who they wanted the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So then they go to the second room, and Yuna's there, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is great. I wanted to be with you guys, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, they're like, "Oh, you're by yourself?" They're like, "Yep." Like, "All right, peace."
And they
so
left.
They like left.
They left there.
And then they go to Team C, and Min Young and Highland like already planning what they're going to do because that's the group they wanted. And WJSN barged in like, "Oh my gosh, this is where Highland's at." And of course,
Subin and Youngjung.
yeah, I know. And of course, Min Young's like, "Oh crap!"
Best
like,
part of the whole show.
She's like super sad. She's like, "Shit, I'm getting kicked out of the group."
Absolutely devastated because she just wanted to be with Highland by herself, and she like put her head in her hands. I was like, "That's hilarious."
This is just.
She was so sad WJSN was there.
But then essentially came to and then like tried to pitch themselves to Highland, and then essentially came down to who did Highland want to work with, and she kicked WJSN.
Yeah, she pretty much
out.
said no and told him to leave. Like, I mean, she's the boss, and they're like, okay. So they realized that like they're like, oh, Highland is booting us out, so
we can take a hint. We're gone.
They somehow are able to go back to the second room.
And then they went to Yuna, and they're like, yeah, we're here. This is the one we picked, and she's just like. Highland said no, didn't she?
Yep, and that is exactly what happened, and that was the circus because...
It was funny because they go in, and she's like, we didn't even go in. Subin's like, we didn't even go to the other room, and she's like, are you lying? She goes, Highland didn't pick you, did she? She goes, you were always our second choice. She goes, oh, thank you.
It was hilarious. It was like, usually when we watch these types of shows, it's not like that, like choosing things. There's not really like a peek and see and then leave and come back and be like, sure, whatever. But
it's just like what you picked, what you're stuck with.
This time it was a little bit more of like Wild West. And I mean, I guess it worked out because now it's like the even number of groups with each other.
I think it's funny though because I was saying during the show that going and picking somebody in the dance group and kicking another group off is kind of mean. But it's way more mean when a girl comes into your room, sees you're there, and they're like, no, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
and then they leave.
And it happened to Unit twice.
And then they come back like, oh, I'll be my third choice.
I mean, literally, like, you are not our first option. We made that clear, but we're stuck with you now. So
here we are.
That was like multiple people did that to her. So that worked itself out, and it was really funny.
It was funny. So Team A was Chu, Hassel, Kim Lip, and Jinsol with Chan and Youngin. Team B is Yunha with Yeonjung and Subin. And Team C is Min Young with Highland. And that's our vocal units.
Mm-hmm.
So after they picked their teams, they pretty much just kind of showed them picking what songs they wanted to do or, like, coming up with their music and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had, like, a person in there with, like, a keyboard, and they just, like, practice just different types of songs.
And then what she says, like, Highland picked her song, and then Min Young's like, when you picked this song, did you have me in mind? And she started talking about it, and she's saying the song like, this is the most depressing song I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was really sad. Very sad lyrics.
But, I don't know. Highland's trying to be LeBron James and carry Brave Girls to the top with her right now.
I was like, this is how Brave Girls gets out of last place.
Because she, went out of her way to go find her to be on her team.
And she's, like, trying to encourage her, too. It's like, it's obvious that her confidence is shot.
She's even like Minnie like, kept her even talking to her like an honorific,
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, don't say that. Stop. We're like the same age. We're friends."
Well, and she's just like would always reference like when I make a mistake or when I do something wrong. She's like, stop saying that. She pretty much like told her to stop being so negative, and she's like, oh, when I was with Sistar, Starship was not a big company. I just told my members we're bigger than that. Like we're better than that. Don't put your head down, and we'll build something. And Helen's pretty great. She's pretty great, honestly, because she's really trying to help her.
She's really trying.
And she's very like which I mean I guess goes into her stage presence. How you like, she's very like strong-willed. So you like pay attention to her when she talks. So that's good. I'm glad she's actually with Minyoung because like she needed it. So.
She really did.
Or else, who knows the fate of Brave Girls? But
gosh, the only thing that would have been better was if she was also with Yoonji and she just dragged both of them out of the dumps at the same time.
Yeah. Oh man, she
just
should have
unified the belts.
She's like, where is she? Where is she?
What's this? She literally went to each room. She's like, nope, see you later. Like, this bed's not right. This porridge is too hot. Mm-hmm. And then she literally saw Minyoung, and she's just like, yep, this is it. And she's like, oh, I'm coming in.
She threw off the dunks, and she was in there. She's like, I'm home.
Yeah, for real, the Minyoung like a freaked out.
I was just like, I mean, I know it's like, I don't know who knows what like is actually behind the scenes, but I was like, so what if like everyone just went in the same room and was like, okay, sure, like. Because they weren't like, okay, it has to be 2 different groups. I mean, obviously it works out like that, but I was like, so technically could have WJSN stayed with them and then Yuna would have been just by herself? I don't know. I guess it just makes it more dramatic so it's more fun, but
yeah, so that happened. Then I got my question answered, which was, if you weren't inside these performance groups, what were you doing if you're the other members? Were you just like chilling on the bench, just like doing nothing?
Yep.
Turns out they all just came to help decorate and be cooks.
You are serving food and getting ready for dinner.
You're the servants.
And putting up the decorations.
And being beautiful like Hyunjin.
Yeah, and their food looked really good.
It did look good. It looked super
really,
good.
really good. They had like a whole buffet line of awesome foods that the rest of the members that weren't participating
And then apparently Sola and Exy went and got like a fruit truck.
Yeah, they're like, it's here. And they had a whole like coffee fruit truck thing. Passing out fruits. Dying was really going above and beyond, passing out water and being super energetic helper for everyone. But it was just fun. It's funny, like the visual of it, because they had the 2 tables, kind of like it was like an L almost, but it was like giant, super
There's like
long.
so many people,
so the tables are like so long. But their food just
as I said, they went and ate and it looked good.
It was like night. It was like kind of nighttime meal.
And then after that, of course, they had their midterm exam that they had to do.
Yeah.
Which means the vocal units came and performed their songs, and the dancing units performed their songs. But
it was just the vocal ones.
We only their dancing ones are getting ready to do. We only saw the vocal ones so far.
Yeah.
And then the other people in the crowd had to vote for who was the best, and the winner got to choose which order they got to go in.
Naturally.
And then that's kind of where
the
whole show stopped. And next week they're going to show like kind of, I guess, the background of the dancing unit practicing with these crazy looking coaches.
Yeah, we got all the strict coaches coming in to make everybody cry, it looks like. So
I'm guessing they're going to show that and then do the dance practice things or whatever, and then probably show like the first performances for the actual stages.
Yeah, because it's like because they have to do their actual ones. This was just the midterm to pick the order, essentially. Everyone who sang did a really good job. They'd sing like kind of like half or a song or like after like sing up to like a chorus and then they stopped. But I mean, everyone sounded fine. We don't know who won, right? They didn't say.
No, they didn't say yet.
That'll be on next week's episode, but
then,
I really have no idea.
And then Hyland like did hers, and everybody's like, "Wow, she's amazing." Everyone, it's pretty much over already.
Everyone sounded fine to me, so I mean, it's probably gonna be her just because everyone loves her the best. But, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of setup this episode. There wasn't much of actually doing anything. So it's a good setup for next week when hopefully the stages. Well, it did show some highlights from the stages they were on, so there's going to be some stage stuff next week.
We'll have some stage stuff.
The best was when they were talking about the vocals. They were showing Cheon when they were picking her and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like her one performance on Girls Planet she like botched.
Yeah.
And everybody was like super down on it, but it didn't affect her in any way at all.
Yep.
Because you know what? She was still number 1.
If she can have that resolve, she'll be just fine. But it was good. I actually really liked this episode. I thought it was really fun. It was probably one of my like favorite ones so far, just because there was a lot of like interacting between the groups and a lot of like goofy stuff that went on. Always like that kind of stuff. Just like the in between collabs of groups doing just silly things and all that. It was just like a fun episode.
The only thing I'm really hoping for out of all this is that Brave Girls doesn't come in last.
I really hope not.
I feel like there's no way they possibly can with Highland.
Yeah.
Not only that,
at least for the singing part.
And then the dance one, Yoonji's got like freaking the greatest dance team of all time, and Luna.
Yeah, she has like all the power of Luna on her side now, so I think they should be okay.
The power of Luna, God, and anime.
At least they should be okay for another week.
I don't know. We'll find out. Excited for next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Been a really fun show. Been fun to watch. This one was good. I like that they're like in this cool resort type place. It was kind of cool to see. Cool like scenery and all that stuff, just for them to like get out and do different stuff. But they kind of explained the points at the beginning of the show too, and I mean you pretty much just get a lot if you win, essentially.
Yeah,
that's what I pretty much just tell myself. I was like, well, if you win, you get a lot of points.
That's really all you need to know, to be honest with you.
So like about the points, it was like, okay, if you get the top spot, you get a good amount of points, just like any other show. So that's pretty much what I took away from that.
Well, let us know what you guys think. What do you think of these teams?
I don't think there's anything.
What's the team you wanted to see?
I'm interested to see what people think about it. I think the teams are really interesting, especially the dancing ones.
That would be really interesting.
Because we haven't really seen anything about that yet. We will next week, so I'm kind of interested to see how that's gonna like pair up.
I don't
know.
The
vocal ones seem good so far.
I mean, the vocals, I feel like they can all sing. I'm just like,
that's just like not my like I'm not a big vocal guy, so those ones, unless someone's like blurting out the wrong note and it's super obvious and I'm like, ugh, it's fine to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be like, okay, A+, like you did really good.
I gotcha.
So, because vocals are never, I mean, if it sounds good, I'm like, sure, it's fine. I'm not super huge on vocals. Okay, and like everyone kind of picks like a ballady type song too, which I'm not the biggest on either. So, I mean,
it's not like they're out there singing VVS. So,
I mean, it's just something, but it was cool though. I mean, it's just cool to see the people collab together. And next week we'll see the dance ones and see where it goes from there.
Send me some comments. Tell me what you guys want to see.
Yeah, let's see what teams you want to see. Who do you think's gonna win?
What would your dream team be? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
But yeah, good episode. Well, I guess be back next week for next week's episode.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week.
In March, or not March. April's over with, so
next week will be a whole new month. It's KCON month next week, so be excited for that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna
because that's in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes, that's getting pretty close.
And we'll be going to KCON.
So hit us up if you're gonna be in KCON Chicago. We'll be there both days.
KCON Chicago, both days. We'll be there. Come talk about Girls Planet because that's all we care about. So
both Queendom and Girls Planet.
Honestly, if you want to come about Girls Planet, I'll probably be
more
more happy about that, to be honest, because Girls Planet was the best, and I miss it every day. So.
I'll bring some buttons and some stickers. I'll give you guys some free stuff.
Mess that up every single day.
It's all right.
It's late, but
it's like 3 a.m., so it's all right.
We're doing it for the fans. But until next week, guys, we love you. I'm JT. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Stand brave, girl.